Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Laura. I make functional ceramics for interior design. In this channel, I talk about my art, my life, glazes, clay, and lots of other fun stuff. In this video, I'll talk about what's happening right now in my life, what my goals are for this year, just how I envision everything, what I'm going through, and all the other exciting new things. I got into residency, I got a grant, I have a new collection coming up, so all of those fun stuff and updates. I thought I would record the whole video just because I think it's fun to talk about myself, and this is what I'll be doing in this video. On a side note, I think this year I can consider myself to be a full-time artist, because I finally started counting hours that I work on my art and that I work in all the other jobs. And I calculated that I work 40 hours per week doing my art, making it, marketing it, all the websites, shipping, and different details. And I was actually surprised. And I'm like, okay, 40 hours per week counts as a full-time artist. In addition to that, I do work as a tutor. It still supports me financially quite well, although my art last year finally started supporting me financially too, so now I'm supported financially from both sides, which is really great. On the side, I also work as a yoga teacher, but I just teach 1 hour per week for fun and to kind of maintain the skill of teaching. Because teaching is such a substantial part of my life in general, it became a big part of my art career as well. So number one category that I wanted to share about is teaching. Mostly because I think it's very structured and everything is clear what's going on. I launched the second round of my course on textures and ceramics. I'm still thinking that I'll be launching it twice a year, so March and September. I might change my mind, but I think for now it seems to be very sustainable, and it seems like enough people are taking it and are interested in it that it's worth doing it twice a year instead of once a year. In general, I think it's going really well. People are super excited. This round, I decided just to give people freedom and not structure the course by timing, so that people can watch their videos at their own time, experiment, and if they have any questions, they'll ask me. I think it's a pretty good structure, so I'm probably going to be keeping it. In addition to that, this year, I agreed to teach several international workshops. It's a new thing for me. I always wanted to. I think when I started ceramics, I saw Tortoise traveling around and teaching how he's making those gigantic vases. And I thought, well, that sounds really good. I think I'm going to throw gigantic vases and teach it internationally. But turned out that life and ceramics has different plans for me. And now I'm teaching glazes and textures instead of throwing gigantic vases. Although I think I am getting better and better at throwing gigantic vases, and now I'm at around 15 or 20 pounds, like somewhere there, and my moon jars are growing for sure. So my current plan is, and that might change, is that I'm going to Lebanon in the beginning of June. That's going to be about 4-day intensive. And then there's a gigantic intensive, 2-week intensive in Bali, which I'm super excited about because I wanted to explore Bali as a potential relocation place. I don't think I'm actually going to be living there, but I have a lot of friends there. I know a lot of people. It's just nice to visit. And I was super happy when the opportunity appeared and the workshop was sold out basically within a couple of weeks after being announced, like more than half a year before the workshop. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about the feedback, and that means that I will probably be doing maybe 3 or 4 workshops per year all over the world. I think it's going to be fun. I think I like traveling, still like traveling even though I got cats. My current plan is to do 3 to 4 workshops per year. And so another workshop that is currently under agreement, but I think we will do it. There is a really cool company that organizes pottery trips in Mexico. So I'm going to be one of the masters who are giving texture workshops there, which is super fun. We're going to visit a copper factory and local villages. So I think it's going to be a cool opportunity in general, not just for the teaching, but for being a participant too. It's something that I would have done regardless of whether I got paid or not, I think, but I will get paid, which is good. I already had a lot of trips lined up until recently, which was maybe 3 days ago. I learned that I also got into residency in Portugal. I applied in the beginning of January because LA was in fires and I was strongly considering moving somewhere far away, probably foreign country, probably the further away from the fires, the better. And Portugal was one of the countries that I wanted to explore for quite a while for potential relocation too. And I thought, well, the residency sounded really cool. It's 4 weeks. I thought maybe I'll do the project. And then over the weekend, I will travel around, explore, and meet my friends ceramicists, and just kind of like look at the vibe and check it out. And the idea worked out. I think I wrote a really nice proposal that my current work fit really well. And that showed my mastery of the material and showed that I'm a really good fit for the residency. The residency is going to be about bricks. I was at first a little bit concerned that I wouldn't get accepted because they're calling for architects and designers and artists who somehow have things to say about bricks. And my idea was to decompose the notion of a brick, to add recycled materials into the fired pieces, and construct a pretty large scale art object out of clay made bricks that use recycled ingredients that would be decomposed, and that would include the metal rods. So it's kind of this interplay between nature versus human object. Where's the end of nature? Where's the end of the human object? And how everything just blends eventually and breaks and blends and dies. Yeah. So either way, I need to refine my concept a little bit better. So I think I'll do that once I arrive. And I got in. Super exciting. It's a pretty competitive residency. It's a municipality not too far from Lisbon for different kinds of expenses. So I'm going to go to Portugal in May. And right from there, I'm going to go to the workshop in Lebanon. Then hopefully I'll be back and I'll be finishing up my collection because that's another focus of my life right now. I'm really hoping to get most of it done in April so that I can already have a photo shoot and the catalog and all of that lined up by the time I leave. It might be a little bit too optimistic because I have specific problems. Based on that, let's talk about the third thing that I'm currently working on. It's my current collection of large vessels and lamps. Probably requires some story behind. Last year, I focused on small-scale objects, mostly bud vases. I think bud vases was my signature piece because I was developing my own glazes. I was really working on textures. I wanted to refine my textures before I grow into a larger form. I went to different markets, art shows, small design studios. But this year, I felt like I was ready to grow and I was ready to create something more substantial and a project that's going to be higher end and a lot more fun. At the end of last year, I got burned out because in September and October, I was filming the course and it was surprisingly a lot of work. A lot of work, a lot of testing, a lot of material, because it's a very dense course and there's a lot of examples and theory. And I just crammed it into 1 month, but I managed to do it. As soon as I managed to do it and launched the first round, a season came, November and December, where I had to participate in a lot of different markets and art shows, where people were sending me custom orders. Also, my main touring job, students have finals in December, so that's also high season. So long story short, by Christmas, I got completely burned out and I definitely needed a lot of rest. And I think if this period of rest is used properly, it can generate really good ideas. And I think that's what was happening. I went back home to see my family. Literally, an idea came to me in a dream. And at first, I thought, well, that's kind of a little bit crazy. It's just like one of those really wild artistic things that you might think, well, it's either completely unrealistic or it's an amazing, cool idea that I really want to realize. And I chose to embrace it and I chose to give it a try and see what happens and if it works or not. Turned out it's a lot of work. Turned out that I needed to basically learn 2 new mediums, figure out at least 30 or 40 different parts. It was basically a project that just took me a really long time. So it took me 2.5 months to finally get to a stage where I can proudly say, I got it. I got it. I got at least 7 lamps out. So my project is focusing on lamps. And finally, I'm happy about my bases. I'm happy about my lampshades. I'm happy about the overall look. And it really looks the way I envision it. There's an interesting point though, where now that I know the material and now that I know the medium, I know how it all works, I have a lot more ideas of how much cooler I can make them. And so now I'm not satisfied because I know the potential. I know there's a lot of potential and I know that I'm going to be doing it for quite some time. I did not do market testing, but it's okay because I do believe in my product and I think it's super cool. And at the worst, it's just a very pleasing art object that I personally really enjoy and that I personally worked really hard to get out there. I feel like I need to show you some examples. You can take a look at my first babies. I'm just really proud of them. I think they're super unique. And I think the coolest part is that the lampshades are handmade. It takes really long time to make them, but it's super fun. And I feel like they give this very unique artistic look where a lamp is no longer just a functional object. It's something that gives you a feeling. It's something that makes you feel a specific way in a space. And for me, it feels very cozy, homey, outerworldly, and just filled with wonder and appreciation of life. That's my intention that I put into them, and I hope you feel that energy too. Hopefully I'll finish the collection on time in April, on time to go to the residency, and then in June I'll polish it up and then I'll present it to a few places. I have applied to participate in one big trade show in November. We'll see if I get in. I was kind of rushing through it because I was afraid that they're going to have a deadline and they didn't tell when the deadline is, and so I needed to get my lamps out there as soon as possible so that I can apply. But we're gonna see how it goes and I'll keep you posted. I'll definitely film the videos about the residency, about my workshops in different places, about my collection, about new glazes I'm discovering, basically about everything. Another thing that is happening right now is this is the first year where I decided to take my business, my art business, seriously. I really focused on getting down the basics. I think what really gave me a big boost is getting into a Nest Connect program, Maker's Future Fund. It's a program that gave us $5,000 of grant as well as 8 weeks of seminars on how to conduct business. And then later we also get mentorship, 8 weeks of mentorship of how exactly we're conducting business. Through that program, I also learned about SCORE, which is a website where you can find free business mentorship from volunteers, more than 10,000 people around the United States, volunteer businessmen and businesswomen who just want to help people because they got help at some point in the past. Thanks to both the seminars and the SCORE mentorship, I finally got it all straight. I got all the business licenses, figured out what kind of write-offs I wasn't writing off my taxes, opening a business account. There's so many little steps that need to be done once you open up your own business. And I think finally I have it all stable. I have my trademark application going. I have everything. And it's just a nice feeling that I'm building a very strong foundation and I can grow my business from here. For quite some time, I was thinking, well, at which point can I actually hire people to help, assistants, and maybe open up my own design studio? And now I understand at which point, because now I know what I have to calculate for, what I have to make, how much I have to make. We've covered a lot of different topics, starting with the cost of goods, direct-to-consumer websites, how to create a sales plan, lots of different topics that might seem very familiar, but then when it goes down to, the PLN spreadsheets or actually calculating the cost of goods, including my labor, including the overhead expenses, including the wholesale prices, I think all of this knowledge of how many hours I work, where I spend my time, gives me the opportunity to price my product properly, first of all, and then to outsource specific things, knowing that this outsourcing will still be profitable for me. Basically, business 101, it turns out that I do need to have skills to build my own business, despite the fact that I didn't work a single day in a company. I've been self-employed all my life, so it's not like it's completely unfamiliar to me, but when it comes to tutoring, for example, I don't have that many overhead expenses. I don't need to pay for direct labor. I don't need to pay for materials that much. So it's really very simple compared to the actual product business. So understanding my business much better, calculating all those different tables and setting everything straight really helped me move forward. finally. So I'm waiting for my certificates to arrive. I'm waiting for my business account to be all set up so that different revenue streams are then distributed to different bank accounts that would be dedicated to taxes or to overhead expenses, to my own salary, basically everything that I'd like to be straight. I'm currently setting it up. I would say I'm basically done with all of this, and this just gives me a feeling of safety because I know exactly how much I need to make a specific amount of profit. I know exactly how much my products are supposed to cost. I have my financial plan for the year, and all I need to do is just move forward with it. But with all this knowledge, I think it's a lot easier to build a profitable, sustainable business if it's art, crafts, anything else really. And I think YouTube channel is another thing that I'm working on. Unfortunately, there were some events that stopped me from posting exactly once per week, but I'm still planning to film a lot of videos, and I think I'm currently on track to post almost every week. I have so many ideas, including filming the residency and my workshops, filming different glaze reviews and all the different kinds of things. So stay tuned. It's going to be super fun, and I think you can get a lot out of it. Basically, that's where I'm at. A short video updates of what I got by the beginning of April this year and what's coming up in the future. You never know which opportunities might come up and what might happen. Hopefully, lots of other fun and good things will happen, but I'll keep you posted. I think once I have enough of new things and new updates, I'll record another video and I'll share my progress. If you have any questions about specific things, let me know. I'm planning to film a video about how to get to residencies, or the fact that I calculated my hours finally and what I got out of it. Maybe some business ideas of how to run a business, what we need to calculate, how to calculate the cost, the proper price of your product. Just let me know what you're most interested in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe, share, like, and I'll see you later.